All right, lesson 53. It's going to be a review of the following 5 lessons. We'll start with the first one. My meaningless thoughts are showing me a meaningless world. My meaningless thoughts are showing me a meaningless world. There is a distinction made between thoughts that are meaningless and thoughts that are true and real and have meaning. Initially, thoughts that are meaningless are the thoughts that are running, the tape that's running, the tape that tells you that you are a limited being that should be in a state of insecurity and fear at all times. Meaningless. You see the world as insane because it's a reflection of the insanity that's in your thought system. It's a thought system that truly is meaningless, but we have given it so much meaning because we create an order in this chaos, in this insanity. We try to find sanity within it. And in fact, none of it leads to fulfillment or happiness or sanity or health. It's meaningless. The reason why it creates a meaningless world is because our thoughts are projected out into the world that we see and primarily the interpretation that we give to what we see. My meaningless thoughts create a meaningless world. Next one. I am upset because I see a meaningless world. I am upset because I see a meaningless world. There is something inside of us that knows that it's insane. That the way we're perceiving our lives is so distorted. We know this. And because we know this deep down inside in our spirit, it creates an upset. It creates friction. Insane thoughts are upsetting. By their very nature, they are upsetting. So if you recognize that, that is the main point of this lesson, is a recognition that the thoughts that you have are upsetting because they are insane, because you are misperceiving. So anytime you have any sense of distress, you ask yourself, do I absolutely know that this is true? And invariably the answer is going to be, of course not. I don't know that this is absolutely true. And I do not choose to value what is totally insane and has no meaning. So you're telling yourself, first of all, I know that this is not absolutely true, and why am I placing so much value in importance in something that I know is not absolutely true, that is colored by my own judgments, that is colored by my own perceptions and the meaning that I'm giving to things. Okay? Even if it might seem as if there is truth in it, your interpretation is always colored by your past and your judgments. And usually it's colored by the way you see yourself, as we spoke about yesterday. The third lesson that this review covers is a meaningless world engenders fear. So again, not only does it engender upset, but it engenders fear. And is it not obvious in the world that we live that everything that is projected back to us for us to experience has a dimension of fear in it, or at least we can interpret it as such? I mean, everything, the news, everything that we experience asks you to be aware of the fear in it, but it's a choice. You can choose to stay centered and at peace and not value that in which you see in such a great way that it engenders fear, by recognizing that it is meaningless in and of itself until you give it meaning. I have given it the illusion of reality. So this meaningless world, you've given it the illusion of reality. It's not real. Reality is sane. It is not insane. And have suffered from the belief in it. I have given it the illusion of reality. Oh, this is so real. And that is what leads to my suffering. I have given it so much dependence. And it suffers from my belief that it is real. that it is valuable, that it is important. My attachment to it is what causes my suffering. The next lesson is God did not create a meaningless world. Now we're starting to see, okay, if this is what I made, me being the image maker, and if this is the interpretation that I've given to the world that I see, if there is a base reality, as some in the simulation theory would call it, in that base reality, God did not create a meaningless world. There is meaning, inherent, true meaning in what is truly real. But it has nothing to do with the world as we see it currently. Has nothing at all. God knows not a form. Form is what we see in this world. Everything. What we experience, that's form. We come into this world to experience life in form. God did not create a meaningless world. So what world did God create? And can we come in contact with that world? Can we somehow find it within our own mind? If we strip away all this other stuff that has clouded and has somehow smothered the true meaning of the world. And then finally, my thoughts are images that I have made. It goes full circle that you are the image maker and your thoughts are images that you have made. It is your choice to see what you are seeing. It is because you want to see it. Hard to believe, I know. You see what's in your world and you think the thoughts that you think because you want to. But you can choose again. You can choose to see things differently. You can choose to think things differently. It does require vigilance. It requires being able to monitor those thoughts very closely without judgment. Because the second you judge them, then it adds another layer of thoughts that are distorted. And that covers even more true thoughts, real thoughts, thoughts of God that you share with God, that you always do, by the way. It's a communication that never severs, never stops. But you are not aware of them because you're too busy thinking illusory thoughts, running that tape, because you have already decided what things mean. So you are the image maker, God is the creator, and you have a choice to make whether or not to see through the eyes of the creator or to see through your own eyes, the eyes of the ego that are creating images. That is lesson 53. A review of these 5 lessons, and tomorrow we'll cover the next 5 lessons in lesson 54. Thanks.